Hello, 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 welcome back. This is Ahmed Rashid, continuing Elf-3's adventures through the vaults, through the dungeon, as part of the 5 Elves, 5 Lives. He has distinguished himself in both archery and melee combat with the aid of his mephitic cloud, which he spams at will. Thus far, I'm very happy with the way he's maturing, and he recently found a longsword of Holy Wrath, so I've decided I'm going to teach him how to use long blades effectively, and that's why I'm focus training that. In fact, to that end, am I close to a level up anywhere? I'm going to disable shields temporarily to really let him hone in on his his long blades. We'll see how much he can do. I recently found the door to the Elven Halls, and contrary to my usual playstyle, which would call for beating a lesser branch like the Snake Pit first, or maybe even proceeding through the dungeon a bit more, just because I'm an elf, I'm going to go in here and fight elves. Elves tend to wear elven stuff, and elves get benefits from elven stuff, and saying elf repeatedly makes me sound cool. Elf, 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 elf. Okay, I'll stop, sorry. Yeah. Also in the last part, if you weren't watching, I did get 2 levels of resistance to fire thanks to a brand new pair of boots gifted to me by Okuwaru. And I also got purchased an Amulet of Faith to try and speed up the amount of piety I get, the number of gifts I get. With any luck, 2 levels of resistant fire, 1 level of resistant cold, and where's the level of resistant cold? And trust me, I have one. And magic resistance. All of that put together is going to put me in a decent shape for what comes ahead. Oh right, I think the cold resists from a mutation. Now the Elven Halls is shaped like this. Very few open spaces, so very often you will stumble blindly into trouble. Elven Halls, I've read up on it, though I've very rarely actually been here, is home to some extraordinarily dangerous creatures. Pretty much every elf in here can cast some kind of spell or the other, and the spellcasters can cast many kinds of spells. So even your run-of-the-mill Orc Knight equivalent here is magic capable. That's why magic resistance is so very helpful. I'm holding back on attacking because I don't want to waste arrows on them. If they're going to kill each other for me, that's great. I'm going to switch to my newly found Bow of Frost, so that when I use my +0 arrows, I get the frost effect on them. Damn, that fire actually burnt some of my items up. At this point, I basically decided I should never fight non-mephitic enemies here. Because it has not gone well for me. Okay, this guy just summoned a creature. This creature is a soul eater. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's a bad thing. He's also resistant to cold, so shooting arrows at him right now would be a bad idea. I'm just gonna retreat and maybe even abjure him if necessary. I say if necessary and use it as a last resort because this is not a magic caster, and abjure is not my strongest ability. Not even reliable, frankly. It's much safer to just get away and wait for the summon to disappear. Except that now there are elves roaming the floor, so I have to be even more cautious. Ooh, a book. Including, yay! There's Blink! I really, really wanted Blink, and now I can memorize it. I'm not expecting to make much use of Blink, but I am expecting that at some point or the other it's going to be exactly what I need to save my life. And then I'll be like, yay, I have Blink, my life is saved, instead of, no, I don't have Blink, my life is gone. Which is a notably less happy phrase. Okie dokie, back to the exploration. Burn the corpses, loot the bodies. Actually, there are a lot of arrows, apparently. And a lot of cool elven sword stuffs. If I can somehow completely clear this floor, looting it is going to be like, you know, like Christmas in a candy store or whatever that phrase is. Like being a kid in a candy store. There's a lot of good stuff here. Actually, I don't want to slow him down. I want him to come with me. So, I'm going to use a neat trick. No, remember how I never liked ascending on a staircase and leaving a bad situation behind? Well, because this is the Elven Halls, and sorry, this is the first floor, all up staircases lead to that same one. So if I leave from here, I will leave all these guys way off to the side, and I will show up way back here. So there's no problem starting a pitched battle adjacent to this staircase. For those of you who didn't watch, in the last part, I made a prediction that from levels 1, because, you know, that's the minimum to turn on for training, I would be able to level Longblades to level 5 or 6 in just one floor of the Elven Halls. Thus far, I'm not quite on track, but I'm doing fairly well towards that prediction. Notice that this guy is a shield-carrying, sword-wielding elf who also knows magic. Actually, now that I think about it for 5 seconds, that's a lot like me, isn't it? I'm very hopeful that one of the many things that I'll find here and be able to loot here will include an elven buckler that is at least as good as, you know, my ordinary buckler, maybe better. What the fuck just happened? I think my program just crashed. I'm gonna go ahead and just try and bring it back up and hope that it's saved for me. Probably did, but... I don't know what just happened. Why am I here and not where I was before? All of my arrows are missing that were missing before. And there are enemies down here. Oh wait, it looks like the video is actually even off here. Let me try and center that a little bit better for you guys. I don't know what just happened. I feel like my program just crashed and I'm kind of concerned. But it says it's still recording, so we'll continue the run. By the looks of it, it's taken me back quite a ways. So I'm just gonna come back upstairs and... yeah, you know what? Let's just go ahead and clear out this area real quick. Do not want to come back to a fight when I'm retreating from stuff. Well, I do need a new helmet. My current helmet is not enchanted. Let's see what this guy's given me this time. +1 Helm of Intelligence. Well, the helmet is going to detract from my spell casting because it's not a wizard's hat. The intelligence is going to aid it. A net effect, Mephitic Cloud Great versus Mephitic Cloud Great. AC 17, 21, 18 versus AC 17, 21, 18. Looks like it's all the same to me, so I'm going to go ahead and keep intelligence because boosting stats is more important to me than boosting written defenses. Plus a wizard's hat is kind of sucky. Or I could drop this and hope that Okuwaru does not realize that I have a good hat. That way he might give me another hat that I'll actually like, instead of one that I'm willing to tolerate. Okay, I definitely picked that book up the last time I was here, so it has probably taken me back to... oh, these elves are dead. I have no idea how far it's taken me back. I'm just gonna act as though... I've never been on this floor. And explore accordingly. Whoa, what just hit me? An arrow. A single arrow dealt that much damage. Well, Jesus Christ, I can't afford to fight you if you're not under the mephitic cloud, can I? And I'm using +4 arrows of flame with a frost bow, which is really stupid. I should be using generic arrows. Oh my god, so the game started counting after I lost all of my arrows by the looks of it. Oh no, I had picked up a bunch of arrows, so that's what it is. Here we go, here's the arrows I picked up. Whew, that's complicated. Are you immune? Whatever you are, you're gonna die. There we go. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that technical glitch. I don't actually have the first darn clue what happened. I was doing really well too. Kinda bummed out, but whatever. Alright, I have 48 ordinary arrows now, so let's quiver those up. I'm using an Elven Bow of Frost, and if I recall correctly, there was another Elven Bow that this guy just dropped here. Yes, which is ruined. So let's wield that and figure out what kind of bow we're talking. That was a good early mephitic. I love it when they're clustered like that, because they're very likely to hit each other. The bow isn't doing a whole lot of bonus. Yeah, it's a +1/+0 generic bow. Let's switch back to my frost bow and drop this piece of crap. So, fighting a non-mephitic elf one-on-one when I'm at full health seems to be relatively safe, because it's taking them at least 2 or 3 hits to really, kill me. But it's also unnecessary because I can always mephitic first. So really it's a matter of how patient I feel like being. Okay, that's solid. Looks like this whole side of the dungeon is done. Meanwhile, progress towards my target of level 5 or 6 longblades is excellent. I'm already at level 4. Mostly because of the cross-training, but it doesn't hurt that I'm doubling up. Oh yeah, I never did memorize Blink yet, did I? Or re-memorize Blink, I guess. Let's get that now. And before I do the left, let's do the right. See everything Elven on this floor thus far. Short sword, bow, buckler, +0 buckler, so not interested. Pair of Elven gloves. I already got fancy gloves. Short sword, glowing Elven leather armor, short sword, long sword, chainmail. Nothing of interest. That doesn't mean that there's not good equipment, just that if there is, it doesn't include the word Elven. I have no idea what's with these generic elves. What the hell just happened? Turned into a spiny worm. Lucky for me, it's not an immune to mephitic spiny worm, now is it? And that what happens when I'm using +0 arrows as opposed to like high quality arrows is it takes many shots and get a lot of misses for every hit. Ooh, a shiny elven buckler. I'm interested. It's a buckler of protection, which means it boosts my AC by some amount. So 2021 versus 1721, and shield value 18 versus shield value 16, because it's got no enchantments. I'll take that trade. I would rather have better AC than slightly improved shielding. I will carry the old buckler with me though, I don't want to leave it here, and it is the second best buckler that I know of right now. I'm still hopeful I'm getting something a little bit more unequivocally improved, but we'll find out. It's available. Most important thing is not to die. And why did I become... Oh, because I picked up a scroll. Drop to remove curses. I have plenty of those waiting for me. And I can eat a snack too. I can eat a honeycomb. And I need to drop more weight somehow, so I'll drop generic arrows. How about 11 generic arrows? That'll do it. I'm surprised that there are orcs here. They must have snuck down here from the orcish mines. Yeah, I know elves can be real racist and all, but in this game, if it's a question of orcs versus elves, elves win hands down. I mean, you've got your superior quality orcs, like the warlord and all, but even the most generic elf is a match for the vast majority of the orcs. I'll take you on hand to hand, bro. Bread rations at this point in the game are just way too heavy for me to ever consider carrying, like, for seriousness. I have so many royal jellies that weigh like 3/10 as much relative to, and have all the equal food value, that it's just not worth it. Oh, I didn't even see him there. Let's kill him. These guys are more than likely to kill each other, so he's a better target, as long as I keep Mephitic on these guys. There we go. Anything else to burn? Ooh, a draining longsword. Draining will increase my health and will leech HP. No, that's vampiric. Draining will reduce my enemies' levels, which is still quite useful, but I am more partial to the longbow right now, so let's see how his bow handles. Is it a bow of flame? It is a bow of flame. Ladies and gentlemen, my bow collection is complete. I have fire, I have ice, and I have vorpal. So, irresistible bonus damage, fire bonus damage, ice bonus damage. Perfect. Anything beyond that is extra. Which means that if I equip generic +5 arrows, they become generic +5 arrows of flame or ice, respectively. I also have ice arrows and flame arrows pre-made, so I can use that on the vorpal +6 bow. I am ready to take on the swamp now, because I should have an ample stock of anti-Hydra weaponry. But I do need to lose some weight. Seems to be my perennial problem in this game. Any other spells I care about here? Teleport other, teleport self, apportation. Just because I have 14 spell levels and need 0, I'm going to memorize apportation. I mean, it costs me absolutely nothing. I'm never going to level that skill, never going to use it. Fighting while overweight is a bad idea if you have the option to fight while not overweight. So let's drop the useless buckler, keep the elven buckler, drop... What else can I drop? I can drop my food, I can come back for that later. There we go, I'm only burdened now. I prioritize when dropping things that I won't necessarily have to come back for, in case I need to make an escape and not come back for many, many turns, or, you know, at all. Well, for anybody who is dumb enough to gamble against the house, I have not even finished clearing the first floor yet, and I have level 7 long blade skill. That's the power of cross-training. Alright, now I've cleared the Elven Halls, so still level 7, but level 7. Okay. I see +2 Elven leather armor, as opposed to my plus troll armor, which probably has a little bit less AC. I see a lot of Elven longswords. I would actually like to collect up all these longswords and figure out what, oh, this is a short sword. Short sword, I'm happy with Vorpal. But I want to see what branding of longswords they have available, because there's a good chance that one of these is going to be just as awesome as what I already found. I saw a Deep Elf Conjurer. In a different life, I could have been you. Oh well, if I was you, I know what would have happened to my life. I would have died. Not that I'm immune to death yet. That's a skill that takes way too much practice to get any good at in this game. Yeah, so here's what I'm gonna do. I need to get out of here, because I don't have the physical weight capacity. But I don't need to keep all these swords long term. I just need to keep them long enough to test what their branding is. So what I'm gonna do is pick up my honeycombs, my meat, leave behind the bucklers that I don't intend to take with me. Of course I can't carry any more weight. Actually, they're not even letting me pick up the honeycomb, so I'll just eat that. And then I'm going to use my ability to levitate. Levitation, of course, makes me weightless. For a short period of time. So, just long enough to get out of the vault, that's all or the thingy. Out of the Orcish mines. I'll just levitate my way out of here. Okay, perfect. Now I'm going to go exploring around, just looking for things to fight. Anything will do. Heck, at this point I'd be happy to fight plants. That looks like a disturbance in the water, which means a fish, which means target. Switch to a long blade I haven't identified yet. It is a Vorpal long blade. I don't know what the pluses on it are yet, but that's good for now. What about this guy? Oh, come on, man. No obvious branding. What about the scimitar? It's a scimitar of freezing. How interesting. +3, +2. Let's try the this guy. And let's drop the scimitar of freezing, because I already know what it is, so I don't need the weight. +2, +0. The reason I'm able to identify what they are so fast is because my skill with long blades is so bloody high. Normally it would take, you know, a scroll of identify or a lot longer to figure it out. This is also part of the reason I don't usually waste scrolls of identify on weapons. +3, +0, put it on the pile. Alright, that's everything that I need identified. Let's see what I'm going to take for the long haul. None of these are particularly impressive weapons in my opinion. I have a quick blade already that boasts +9, +4. If you look at the damage rating on a quick blade, it's rated at 5 damage. Now if you look at the same damage rating on a longsword, you'd expect it to be higher, right? So let's take a look at the longsword of slicing, the Vorpal one. Damage rating 10. So, you know, a bonus 4 damage is not that huge a deal, and I say not that huge because this is getting plus 4 thanks to its enchantment level, and this is getting plus 0, so it's actually even. Now, I could, of course, say, well, why don't I enchant it up? The reason I don't bother enchanting it up is I already have a well-enchanted one. I don't need two. The only one of these that at all catches my eye is the Elven Scimitar of Freezing, because most likely I would end up using that at close quarters when I need a fight ended fast, and a short sword of freezing is going to do less damage than a long sword of freezing, assuming I have equal talent with both. So what's the damage rating on a scimitar? 11, that's solid. And on the short sword, 6. Taking into account pluses, it's 10 versus 13, and the short sword is only slightly more accurate. So we'll keep the long sword in this case and drop the short sword. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Now I believe I left a very important holy weapon back in the dungeon, in addition to a bunch of other items I intended to go back for. I need a way down. Oh, it's all the way on the other side. Well, I'm gonna let these guys attack me the whole way there. I don't even care. It's kind of a show-off thing to show that between troll leather and my overall HP and AC and shielding, they're not even able to dent me all the way back. Plus, I can always use their bodies as ammo to test out my new holy blade when I pick it up. How kind of you. I have new weapon, and you have test subject. +2, +1. So really, this is a very unimpressive weapon, except for the fact that it deals, what, double damage versus undead or whatever, triple damage versus undead, which makes it a lot less unimpressive. So, final verdict, we're keeping the Bow of Frost, the Bow of Ice, the Longbow of Velocity, one sword of Ice, one sword of Holy, and one generic sword, E. That's all of these. Their total weight put together is, notice how it says select all with bracket. Their total weight altogether is roughly 50 or 60 AUM, which is not too much at all. Compared to my arrows, which cumulatively weigh upward of 150, not because they are so heavy, but because I have freaking 200, 300 of them. Everything that's not my weapons and my ammo weighs 189 AUM put together, and of those I can't afford to part with my armor, so that leaves 146 AUM to play with. Not even 146, yeah, 146 AUM worth of stuff between magical devices, comestibles, scrolls, and jewelry, and other assorted items that I can potentially dump. Let's dump the book. Let's dump, I always want to be able to teleport and blink. I'm wearing the minimum amount of jewelry. I can potentially part with restore. Oh, the Wand of Digging is no longer useful because I don't plan to do much digging now that. You know, let me get back to my stash before I start doing this. So, picking up as much as I can. We're gonna do one more of those. There's actually an absolute limit to how much you're allowed to carry, and it looks like I've hit that now. How much you're allowed to carry beyond your overweight mark. There we go. Off we go now. I am maximally overloaded, but everything I've left behind here, including a book with no spells I want and 3 arrows, I'm more than happy to leave behind permanently. And I've left behind very little stuff in the elf vaults that I hadn't already at least looked at. So, let's levitate my way out of here. This levitation trick, by the way, is it's just that. It's a trick. It's not like a gameplay tactic. Staying overweight is still not an option, because if you do that too long, what happens is it slows down your move speed and you eventually suffer for it. And the last thing you want is to try to retreat to a staircase and find out that you're too heavy. Here we are back at the stash. I'm going to go ahead and resort my equipment a little bit and try and handle my weight, and after that we'll continue in the next part with our continuing adventure. Probably attack the snake pit, considering that I can now deal ice damage consistently. So stay tuned. We'll see you guys later. Bye.